Hello viewers, welcome back to the channel. I have finally rebuilt my Fairlight Cycles Secan, which I've owned since 2019, but for the last few months it's been out of operation because I've been rebuilding it with a resprayed frame, brand new colour match fork and a new group set that might just be the best affordable group set you can buy right now. No batteries, no hydraulics, mechanical simplicity all the way. So today I want to share the changes and the reason behind the changes and give you a closer look at this lovely bike, even if I am biased in saying that. So if you've been watching my channel since the early days, way back in 2020, when I had no idea how well YouTube would go, this was a common sight. This bike was a common sight on the channel. I used it for all sorts of riding adventures, bike packing trips, the King Alfred's Way, long distance Audax rides. I put mountain bike tyres on it, I put road slick tyres on it, gravel tyres like these, and generally use it as a rolling test rig with different components, saddles, handlebars, and so on. But late last year, I decided it was time for a bit of a refresh, a revamp, if you like. The frame was looking a bit battered, quite a few scratches, which I don't generally mind, to be honest, but I thought maybe a good opportunity for a respray, something I've never done before. And something that always annoyed me about the bike, this being an original, was while the blue of the frame looked splendid, the black fork always upset me. And since I own the bike, they launched a new fork, which is colour matched on new models. So I thought I'd get the frame resprayed and buy the new fork and get it sprayed the same colour. But it turns out getting frames resprayed is jolly expensive and jolly hard to find a good sprayer. But I lucked out and found a local company to me, I'll put a link down below, who actually mainly do cars, but also have a growing sideline of motorbikes, scooters and bicycles, mountain bikes and road bikes. And they gave me a reasonable quote, and this is the result. And I'm really happy with the work they've done. So the paint finish is a colour shifting pearl and looks amazing in the bright sunlight. It's a bit cloudy today, unfortunately, but trust me, it looks amazing when the sun is really bouncing off the frame and really works on the lovely lines of this steel frame. And I love having a colour matched fork at last, and I'm really happy with how the bike looks, and hopefully you agree by hitting that thumbs up like button down below. And for full transparency, the respray cost me £500 plus VAT. So quite expensive to get a frame resprayed, but not as expensive as some places will charge you. But possibly a small price to pay to refresh your pride and joy, which it very much is. So had the frame resprayed and the fork colour match end of last year. And then a few months of being busy and other stuff, I finally got it rebuilt. And I've gone for some tried and tested components by going for a brand new group set. So let's dive in to that group set and why I think it's really exciting. No electronics, no batteries, no hydraulics. It is mechanical all the way. This is the Microshift Sword group set that launched late last year, available in 1x, 2x, aimed at gravel bikes, but perfect for this sort of Audax fast touring stroke gravel setup. And the reason I chose this is because while I do love electronic shifting, I love hydraulic disc brakes, I know lots of people don't like the idea of complexity, electronics, wires, wireless, and the fear of hydraulic disc brakes being tricky to maintain and look after. And as much as I love electronic shifting and hydraulic disc brakes, part of me is a bit sad at the decreasing choice for mechanical options, with the likes of SRAM and Shimano really pushing forward with electronics and hydraulics and not giving anybody an option to have mechanical if they prefer that. And that decreasing choice is a sad thing in the bike world right now, especially at the top end of the bike world. So that's why I thought I would try out this new Sword group set and see if it's any good and whether it's a good alternative to all the expensive, and they are expensive, electronic shifting and hydraulic disc brake group sets, and whether more of us should support what Microshift is doing here. So Sword is a 10-speed group set, which sounds pretty crazy to say that in 2024 when we have 12 and now 13-speed group sets coming from SRAM. But 10-speed, nice wide chain, should be durable and reliable and easy to set up as well. And getting spares should be nice and affordable as well. Buying a 10-speed chain is much cheaper than a 12-speed chain, it has to be said. There's a real emphasis on low gears with a Sword group set, which I applaud. Low gears make cycling for all levels of cyclists more accessible, especially when it comes to riding up hills. And here I've gone for a 2x setup. I am a 1x fan, but I was keen to try out the front mech as well as the rear mech in terms of shifting performance. So up front, I've gone for the smallest 46/29 chain set, so tiny gears, and a fairly generous 11/38 cassette on the back. That fits on a normal Shimano HG3 hub as well. The rear mech has a clutch mechanism, just like you get on GRX and other group sets, which you can deactivate to get the wheel out. When it's engaged, the chain shouldn't flap about as much and feels quite taut to stop that bouncing around. Then to the hoods, and I'm impressed with the ergonomic shape of these hoods. A bit of a cross between Shimano and SRAM perhaps, nicely ribbed, so you don't slip around on the hoods when it's raining or you're sweating. And they are designed for a flared drop handlebar. I have a flared handlebar here, and they have a nice flare, but they feel good in the drops and the hoods based on a short ride around the block so far. And then to the shifting layout, and we have 2 buttons for shifting gears on both sides. So brake lever is fixed, unlike Shimano, and you use these 2 buttons here. So this top paddle, the small paddle here, releases the gear cable and allows the rear mech to move outwards to a higher speed gear, so a smaller sprocket, and this one here, the big paddle, pulls the gear cable to a bigger sprocket and therefore an easier gear for climbing. And it's very tactile. There's nice reassuring clunk and click and audible feedback when you press a button. But if I'm being picky, just based on first impressions here, it doesn't quite have the high-end premium feel of Shimano GRX or another Shimano group set. So functionally it works, as in it changes gear when you want to change gear. But is it satisfying to use? Well, I'll keep you posted on that as I ride it over the next few weeks and let you know. Unfortunately, Microshift don't yet perhaps make disc brake calipers, so you have to buy your own. And I've gone on some good advice for the TRP Spire, a mechanical disc brake. Both pads move out at the same time, but I am a bit worried, a bit concerned that I'm so used to hydraulic disc brakes and the power they offer and the ease of that power that these might be a bit underwhelming. And it's a long time since I rode a bike with mechanical brakes, so that is the only downside. On one hand though, you have the simplicity of mechanical brakes, so no hydraulics, no brakes to bleed, and that ties in nicely with the mechanical shifting of the group set. So that I'm fine with. It's just whether they have the sheer stopping force that I'm a bit concerned about. But I've read some good reviews of the pull components brakes, which are meant to be amazing, but they're very expensive. So let me know your experience of using mechanical disc brakes, what you recommend, what you advise I use by leaving a comment down below, because I'll admit it's been a few years since I used any mechanical disc brakes and I'm a bit out of touch with what the best ones are right now. Right, let's move on to the rest of the bike, and we'll start with the wheels and tyres. And I'm using the same MVG23 gravel wheels I've had for quite a few years now. They've been reliable, they're lightweight, so no reason to change them, and the Chris King hubs are still spinning really smoothly. And for the tyres, well, I had a few choices and a few dilemmas. I chose a tyre for a 600-kilometre road ride I'm embarking on right now, as you watch the video, and going for these. A Specialized Pathfinder Pro, 38mm wide, so not super wide, but wide enough for a road-based adventure. And mainly because we have this smooth centre section, slick like a slick road tyre, so it should be fast on the road, but some shoulder tread action in case we encounter any dirt, mud or gravel. So hopefully a good tyre that's fast and will be comfy as well, nice low pressures, and loads of mud clearance, although that shouldn't be a problem because it's dry at the moment. But I can swap the tyres for faster, knobblier, whatever I need for different riding, and you can choose a tyre to suit the riding you do. The handlebar and stem are brand new from P&W, a mountain bike company, but moving slowly into the gravel space. And this is their new aluminium flared drop gravel handlebar with a matching stem, so keen to see how that performs. And then I have a zip carbon seat post and a prime short nose saddle. Now, if you missed all those early videos on this bike, you might not know much about the brand or why I bought the bike and actually spent my own hard-earned money on this frame. So Fairlight Cycles is a small British company. They launched with the Strail steel road bike and a Secan gravel bike, and also now have a Farran more adventure bike packing setup and a Holt mountain bike. And for me, it's the amazing attention to detail present in the frame, and from speaking to the designer, Dom Thomas, and also the amazing ride quality. I've always had a soft spot for steel, the way it rides, the way it just smooths out rough roads and gravel tracks, and also the classic silhouette of a steel frame, the skinny, slender tubes, the fact it's a bomb-proof material. If it bends, you can bend it back. If it breaks, you can fix it. So lots of aspects I like about this, and that's why I dipped my hand into my pocket and bought a frame way back in 2019, and why it's been a permanent fixture in my stable since then. Although sadly not in use much for the last 6 months, but that will change going forward. Now I've had it resprayed and rebuilt with some new parts. So that is a story of my rebuilt, resprayed, refreshed Fairlight Cycles Secan. And right now, as you watch today's video, I'm actually embarking on a 600-kilometer ride across the length of Wales and back again, but thankfully over 3 days, but still 3 big days with a friend, with luggage. Should be a lot of fun and a good test for the bike, the Groupset and all the other parts. And if you want to follow that adventure real time, then make sure to follow me on Instagram, link down below. And if you want to see a most recent video on the bike, watch the video right up here. And if you want to see more bikes, more builds, more videos like this, then support the channel by hitting that subscribe button right there. But that's all for now. I've got some packing to do, so I'll see you again very soon. Thank you so much for watching.